Well, hello there, Pisces. How are you? It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are going to be doing your November reading. We're going to take a look first at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we'll go to the tarot for some more details. So let's jump into it. Let's see what is on the horizon for you. Nurturance, restore your balance. Okay, so, this is a really... an energy of really kind of going within. You see how she's like, cuddling with that fox. It's almost the energy of giving to yourself right now what you're not finding in the 3D world, right? And I mean that, yeah, look, you have honoring your path. It's not necessarily 3D things that you're giving to yourself, okay? It's not about I don't know why, but this could be specifically for somebody, like eating ice cream to help kind of comfort your feelings, your energy, your emotions at this time. It's really about allowing yourself to step into aligning to what it is that you are feeling and allowing yourself to have positive talk to yourself. It's almost like using affirmations at this time, really looking at your self-talk and ensuring that is in alignment, with what it is that you want for yourself, okay? Now, the Joyous Fun card is coming out. Some of you could be taking life a little bit too seriously at this time. It is about allowing yourself to enjoy your life, right? Even if that means, okay, I'm going to just sit here and snuggle with my pet, or I'm going to walk in nature, spend time near water or with trees. It's the energy of really connecting, almost like loving yourself. Yeah, because I feel like, here's the thing. It's a little bit, you have the Nine of Cups and Joyous Fun. There's almost an energy here because you have professional assistance and the Nine of Wands, right? The Wounded Warrior. This is very creative. This is the energy of, well, what do you really and truly enjoy? I think this could be more career oriented. It doesn't have to be, but it's a little bit of that energy of what is it I really and truly want in life. And in order to do that, we have to allow ourselves to kind of like rest, right? Restore our own balance within ourselves instead of being scattered. And the energy right now is very chaotic. So it's going within. Yeah, look at this. You have the Queen of Cups on the bottom. Your energy, the energy of listening to your intuition, listening to your heart. I feel like for some of you, you've been... this is just, wow. You have your energy, the High Priestess. You have the Four of Wands. You have the Wheel of Fortune. There's something coming to you, okay? With the Wheel of Fortune, this is destined, right? This is divine timing. Something that's coming towards you that is going to bring you a lot of joy and enjoyment, pleasure, play, right? And I think that one of the things is that you're not quite sure it's going to show up because maybe it's not showing up yet in the world. You have the Ten of Wands, dropping the burdens. Yeah, Nine of Wands. Dropping the burdens of feeling perhaps like you have to focus more on your Queen of Pentacles, home, hearth, finances. It's kind of like, I can't enjoy my work. Instead, what I have to do is I just have to have a job to pay the bills. And I feel like you've been toying, going back and forth about that there's only one way or the other. That's kind of interesting. Seeing that, you could have grown up because we have Pluto in Capricorn and it's finally finishing out its retrograde. It will be there until November 19th, and then it goes direct into Aquarius and will stay there for 20 years. So right now we're kind of like being bombarded with that Capricornian energy, the Queen of Pentacles. You can't, it's the Capricorn energy is your career needs to be hard and 9 to 5 and be very, burdensome. Let's put it that way. You have to have somebody over you that's telling you what to do, and you have to follow the rules, and you have to follow all of these protocols, and you have to climb up the corporate ladder, right? That could be really highlighted for you at this time. And it's this energy of, but that's not what I want for myself, right? It's understanding the world has changed. There's a very few people that still have a job where, there are people, I'm not saying there's none, but the world has changed. When Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, over 15 years ago, right? It's the energy of you go to work at a job, 9 to 5, your boss tells you what you're going to do. You do that, you clock in, you clock out, you go home. It's all about how much money you make, right? It's there's no joy in it. You're not supposed to enjoy your career. You're just supposed to show up and put a smile on your face and do your job and then go home. Don't complain. Work extra hard, work longer hours than anybody else so you can climb the corporate ladder. This is you understanding that is not the way the world is anymore, right? Especially when we take a look at the world before and after the pandemic, right? Before the pandemic, we still had a lot of that mindset of you have to have a corporate job, you have to go to an office, right? You have to go to work. This is the energy of, wait a minute, the pandemic helped us to see that we do not have to go to an office. We can work remotely from our home. We can travel the world and work remotely. We're not confined anymore. Pisces, this is like you saying, oh my goodness, like almost feeling like you've gotten out of jail, right? Like the Capricorn energy was very confining to you. But here's the thing. Sometimes when all of a sudden we're at this avenue where we can jump into another world, right? We can leave that orchard of safety and we can jump into this dreamy world of there's no boundaries, right? It is a little bit scary because when we've been living in that Capricornian energy, it is somebody's been telling you what you had to do. Somebody told you what your priorities were. Somebody told you what time to show up at work. Somebody told you what time you could go home, right? They told you what days you had to be at work. They told you how much money you were going to make. There were all these rules. And in that way, there is sometimes a little bit of structure, safety, security. Now, all of a sudden, we're stepping into a world where we can do whatever it is that we want to do. That is truly the message that you are receiving. You do not have to be confined to an office job if it's not what you want. If it's what you want, great. But if it's not, then that's fine too. I think for some of you, you're trying to figure out, do I go it alone or do I still continue to work with others, right? You have the 9 of Pentacles and then you have the 3 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is I'm going out on my own. I want to do it my way, but oh my goodness, there's a big world out there. Am I ready for it? This is your obstacle. Allowing yourself to see that you want to go out on your own perhaps, or maybe you want to work with a small group of people, but you don't want to be in this big corporate echelon anymore, right? But it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of being realistic with yourself. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it if I don't have the structure. If I don't have somebody telling me what to do, I don't know. I may not show up, right? There's the moon card. There you are. It's kind of like facing your fears. It's like asking yourself, what am I most afraid of, right? Yeah, Hierophant. What am I most afraid of? If I leave the confines of, there's Taurus energy, the Hierophant, the older way of thinking, if I leave that, okay, then I don't have an excuse anymore to not create what I want to create. Oh, this is so interesting. The message that I'm getting is that you may have for some time allowed yourself to argue about the confinements of society, the confinements of having a 9 to 5 job, the confinements of the rules of, the your boss or society or whatever. All of a sudden, Pluto's moving into Aquarius, where there's really no rules, where what's best for the common good, right? Instead of what is each individual got to do to play their part in society. Now we're moving into, we're all one, looking at that from that. What's the part you're going to play in that, Pisces? And it could be that it's kind of like a little bit overwhelming, right? It's kind of like suddenly you realize, wait a minute, I can have this freedom. This freedom is an opportunity for me, and yet at the same time, being fearful, right? It's a little bit of understanding you've put a lot of time and energy into fighting the wrong thing. You've been fighting that, society or corporations or institutions or governments are holding you back from what it is that you really want to create for yourself, right? And that's because of Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. But it's kind of like, but those rules don't exist anymore. So now you have this time and energy, right? And instead of pointing the finger and saying, well, those rules are holding me back from the world I want to create, understanding those rules don't really exist anymore. So now, what's the excuse for you to not be able to create what it is that the world that you want to create for yourself? Yeah, this is professional assistance and 9 of Wands, right? It's a little bit, this is your advice, is a little bit about understanding that for so long you have been fighting perhaps the very thing that can help you. Okay, let's clarify this. Wow, interesting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Look you have all this major arcana. You have the Temperance. This is understanding, balance, healing. It's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? It's understanding, wait a minute, I don't have to choose to either be completely by myself or to completely work for somebody else or work with other people. It's understanding you can actually have both, right? With this Temperance energy. Maybe what you're doing is creating on your own, but you're also having some type of a networking group that you can work with, and that, you kind of help each other, either emotionally or mentally, or maybe you even, help each other create, right? Maybe you have some skills that are very prominent and strong, but you're weak in other areas. This is, okay, I'm going to really play with my strength, but you know what? I don't have to do everything. Once again, it's kind of like, say you're very creative, an artist, right? And you want to sell your art. And what you're trying to do is do it all. You're thinking in your mind. Then if I'm an entrepreneur, then I have to do it all. That means I have to do the art, the website, the marketing, blah, 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 everything. Ordering of the paints, the canvases, whatever it is. I have to do it all. Or, right, I have to start this business and I have to have all these people. Maybe it's understanding I'm going to stay in most of my art creativity. I'm going to stay that. And then I'm going to perhaps network with other people. And maybe somebody in that group is a good website designer or has good skills. There's things that you're missing, okay? Skills that maybe you're missing and you're thinking, I have to go learn all of that. You don't. This is understanding, no, wait a minute. I can focus on my strengths. I can focus on my creativity and just hire out. You don't have to hire employees, right? You can hire freelancers to help you with the things that you aren't quite so good at. right? This frees you to go after and really concentrate on what it is that you want to create. This is you going within and understanding, I'm not here to be an entrepreneur, right? I'm not here to run a business. I'm here to create. And for some of you, if you have started, if you are a creative and you've started some type of a business or a YouTube channel or something like that, and you're like about to throw your hands up and quit because you feel like you're spending all of your time, right, having to keep the books or answer emails or something like that. This is the energy of, well, how about if I hired an assistant, right? It says professional assistants. Who can I hire that can take some of those burdens off of me so I can get back to the thing I'm really good at, right? What are you really good at? What is it that your heart really desires to do, right? This is you speaking your truth and saying, okay, I'm going to create more. I think it's about what is it you want to create and making that the focus and kind of like allowing yourself. I wouldn't be surprised. Money is that Capricorn energy of, well, if I hire somebody, that's going to cost a lot of money. That's your 9 of Wands. That's the old mindset that is preventing you. It's kind of like, okay, but if I hire somebody and I may have to pay them a certain amount of money per hour, okay, you know, they can accomplish it in 1 hour. Say you had to pay some type of an assistant $50 an hour. I'm just pulling out a number, okay? $50 an hour. And it's something, designing a website that may take you 10 hours, but they can do it in 2 hours, right? So that frees up 10 hours of your time. And it costs you $100. Okay, I know my numbers are completely weird, but it's kind of like understanding you can take that 10 hours and you can be creating some more artwork or whatever you're creating to put out there into the world to bring you in the financial funds to pay for the website designer. It's understanding that when you are playing on your strengths and you're focusing on what makes you happy and what you're really good at, and it's not about then like not keeping the books or not answering your emails or not designing a website, right? It's understanding that is draining of my energy. It's also draining of my time. I can hire somebody to do that. So it's not the all or nothing. I got to do it all, or I'm not doing any of it, right? Yes. Beautiful energy here, Pisces. I almost feel like, you know, this is like a direct message from your spirit guides and angels that there are no excuses. There are no excuses. The world has changed. It's not the way it was in 2008. Your mindset about how business, especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur or creative of some sort, the world is different. Embrace that difference and allowing yourself to say, you know what? It's kind of like you could work and live in one country and the assistant that you hire could be on the other side of the globe, right? It's also understanding they don't have to be in your own backyard. The world is a totally different place, and it's allowing yourself to see that the world is different and embracing it with, and look, optimism, right? Embrace the world changes with optimism. All right, let's see what we have here. And Pisces, I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Am I getting enough rest to restore my energy and fully show up to my life? Yeah. And it says, you are the asset. The body is your vehicle. Notice how your body is feeling. How much sleep are you getting? And what can you do to help your body rest? Yeah, this is the energy of nurturing your own body. Understanding that your body, when it is tired or not getting the nutrients, the water, the rest that it needs, it can't create at this high level. This is high level creativity. Right? This is you acquiring that creativity from your higher self. Is when you're bogging yourself down with things that are not in alignment with why you are here. It's almost as if you're draining your energy, perhaps this is the difficulty sleeping at night, right? Having trouble sleeping because you're anxious about things that are not in your wheelhouse, right? It's kind of concentrating on what's on your wheelhouse and allowing yourself to hire out what is not in your wheelhouse, allowing yourself to do that. All right, Pisces, I am going to leave it there. I feel like there's this energy of really like allowing yourself to connect to what is it that you really want to create? How do you want to create it? How do you want to spend your days, right? And not allowing the confinements, the details distract you from putting out into the world what you are meant to put out. So thank you so much for sharing your bright light with the world. I really and truly appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.